Politics. I served 2 terms on the Antigonish Town Council, one before going to Ireland for my PhD and a second after returning from my studies. Serving on council was a profound learning experience. Council was never dull, and it was often a contentious exercise, and I loved it. When defeated for a 3rd term, it turned out to be a liberating experience. Life went on, and I was freed to go on for new adventures. Having learned much through council, I was ready for the challenges within the university. The leaving of council led to perhaps the greatest one-liner of my teaching career. The first term I had been elected to council, my youthful exuberance led me to go door to every home in Antigonish. I got the highest vote of any counselor ever and was immediately tabbed as a comer. Then I had to interrupt my political career to go to Ireland for my PhD. When I returned again, I was reelected easily for a 2nd term and ended up on significant portfolios of council. Tough decisions were demanded. As chair of the town school board, along with my entire board, we made a decision to restructure the system, which entailed eliminating one principal when we amalgamated the 2 town schools. The principal went public and ballistic, and the CBC and the CTV came from Halifax to cover the brouhaha. My children were harassed at school. I became the bad guy, and under instruction from the town solicitor, the board was told we could not speak publicly about internal personnel matters. The total board was summoned to Halifax by the Nova Scotia Minister of Education, who told us we had to reverse our decision. We told him in conscience we could not do that. I told him, Mr. Minister, you can change the decision if you want to, and push the files across the table to him. The minister immediately pushed them back, and the meeting was over. It became clear that I did not have the chance of a snowball in hell of surviving the election. Against advice of friends, and to the delight of opponents, I refused to resign the seat. Having done what was right, I would let the people throw me out rather than quit. I bounced pretty high when they tossed me out. Among 8 candidates, I narrowly edged out a little old widow lady for 7th place. The next evening, I was due to face my large film course of some 150 students, all of whom had followed the campaign with great interest. I entered the auditorium, my head down. Students were all in silence, waiting to see what had happened to this poor fellow. Would he survive the ignominy of defeat? I didn't look up. I just stood in the middle of the hall. They were silent. I slipped off my shoes. Then I took a look at the shoes, took off my hat, put it on my shoes. Then I took a step left. I looked at this. There were surely students who thought I had become totally unhinged. And I walked over to the right. I took a look. No one would ask the question, so I had to ask it myself. Do you know what that is? Silence. That is Pat Walsh with the shit kicked out of him. That was the end. It was wonderful. I went on to do a year of artwork. I was freed up to do things that I wanted because I was off all kinds of committees. It was a great liberating experience, and I never looked back, because Satchel Paige said, don't look back. They might be gaining on you. Thank you.